Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I will summarize in this video the physiology of the digestive system. We know from anatomy that the digestive system have many principal organ and also it have many accessory organ that serve in the process of digestion of food. The accessory organ is the salivary gland and liver, as well as pancreas and gallbladder and teeth. The principal organ of the digestive system are the mouth and the pharynx, which is associated between respiratory and digestive system, and we have the esophagus and the stomach, and the small and large intestine. And we must know that the processing of food starts from the first opening to the environment, which is the mouth, and the undigested food is expelled from the second opening to the environment, which is the anus. The main function of the digestive system is ingestion, digestion, absorption, and finally defecation. And we start with the food ingestion. So food must be prepared for digestion. First in the mouth, the ingestion, that means food intake. And in the mouth, as I say, the food will be processed by mastication or chewing and change into small particles. Also, this intake food will be mixed with the saliva, which is secreted from the accessory gland. We have two types of glands, salivary glands. Sorry. The first one is the extrinsic salivary gland, and they include the parotid gland, submandibular gland, and sublingual gland. Also, we have intrinsic salivary gland. These glands were embedded in the tissue of the cheek or lip, as well as in the tongue. And these intrinsic salivary have no digestive function, but they act to clean the mouth or to avoid the odor that appeared in the mouth, or sometimes they protect from the invader as like bacteria or other thing. And in the mouth, as I say, we start with the mastication or chewing, and the food where it mixed with the saliva, it changed into bolus. The saliva have many functions. The most important function are moistening of the food and digestion of the starch, because the saliva contain amylase, and also to clean the mouth and protect the other principal organ from the bacteria. And also there will be a partial digestion of fat by the lingual lipase. The saliva, the quantity of saliva may be near 1 liter daily. And this saliva is secreted not just for digestion, but it also serves another function. And in the mouth, the intake food change into bolus. When the food grounded, that means it cutting to small part and it mixed with the food, with the saliva, so it changed to bolus. And this bolus must go to the second part of the digestive system, which is the pharynx. And as soon as it was ready to swallow, the tongue pick it up to the pharynx, and the pharynx will enclose the upper part of the nasal part to avoid food to go to the nasal cavity, and then it's swallowed to the pharynx. And when it reaches the laryngopharynx, the epiglottis will enclose the glottis, the opening of the larynx, to avoid food to enter the respiratory system. So the bolus take it away to the stomach via esophagus. And you see here that the first bolus will expelled by the tongue, and then it take it way to the lower part, and then it reach the larynx, and finally it take it way to the stomach via esophagus. The movement of bolus in the esophagus by peristaltic movement, and this is a movement in the esophagus, which mainly depend on contraction and relaxation of the esophagus, because we know that the digestive system or the gastrointestinal system have four main type histological layers, which are the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa, and the layer of muscularis serve in relaxation and contraction of the esophageal muscle, and to maintain the movement of the bolus to the stomach. When it reaches the stomach, which is a muscular sac, and we know from anatomy it have four regions: the fundus, the body and antrum, and the pyloric. And this stomach or this muscular sac have many functions according to its region. So the main function, of the stomach is storing, mixing, digestion, and emptying. And each function occur in special region in the stomach. The fundus store, and the mainly digestion occur in the body and antrum, and it take it way to the duodenum via the pyloric region of the stomach. Here the digestion occur chemical and mechanical and the mechanical by contraction of the stomach in different direction to mix the food, and also it have many secretory cell in the stomach in the wall, in the stomach wall, like the cell which secrete mucus, and the cell which secrete the hydrochloric acid, which is the parietal or parietal cells, as well as we have the chief cell which secrete the pepsinogen and lipase, which change into pepsin, which digest the protein. And also we have endocrinal cell which secrete the gastrin. This is a hormone, and all these hormones act together to change the bolus into chyme. This is the milky material. So the bolus and the stomach change into chyme. And this is the two functions we speak about it: the mastication or chewing, and then swallowing and digestion. Now also we have other stage of digestion which occur in the duodenum, but before that we want to see this equation that the hydrochloric acid change the pepsin to the enzyme pepsinogen, and this pepsinogen act to degrade protein into its primary materials, which is the amino acids, as well as the amylase, which is secreted from the salivary gland as well as from the stomach, degrade carbohydrate and change into monosaccharide like maltose and glucose, as well as the fat will degraded by the lipase, and it change into fatty acid and glycerol. You see all the enzymes have ASE. This is differentiated between hormones. And also I want to tell you that pancreas, as well as it take a part of absorption, but it also serve and to complete the digestion of the stomach, and there will be many enzymes secreted from pancreas, like proteases which degrade protein, and also lipase and amylase which degrade the carbohydrate. Also the liver secrete bile which is stored in the gallbladder and condense, and the main function of this bile to emulsify the fat to prepare it to the action of the lipase. Also, pancreas secrete bicarbonate to neutralize the highly acidity juice or chem which it received from the stomach. I want to show you that the histological layer of these organs differ according to its function. You see that when we reach the stage of absorption, this is occur mainly in the small intestine, the duodenum, jejunum, ileum, but there is no absorption in the stomach except drug or some alcohol. And you see that the mucosa of the small intestine have a villi, while the stomach and the large intestine haven't, because there is no absorption of a nutrient in the stomach or in the large intestine, but occur only on the small intestine. When the small intestine observed all these nutrients, I mean the saccharide and amino acid as well as glycerol and fatty acid to the blood, and it sent it to the liver to metabolize the undigested food, take it away to the large intestine and the colon, and here there will be absorption of water, so the undigested food become dry because most of the water will be absorbed in this area. And now this is a useless food, and undigested food. We must take it away to the environment again via defecation, and defecation occur in nerve and hormonal function, and this mechanic start with the receptors which found in the sigmoid colon, and this is starch receptors send the signal to the spinal cord to retain back with a motor nerve to cause a contraction in the sigmoid and relaxation in the internal rectal sphincter, and so the undigested food reach the rectum. When we found a place for defecation voluntary, we can relax the external rectal orifice to expel or to defect the feces to the environment outside of our body. And the other subject we want to speak about it is the motility of the digestive system organs, and we have three types of movement. The first one is the peristalsis movement, which occur in the esophagus and some of it in pharynx, as well as a little in the stomach during emptying the kidneys. And we have the peristalsis and segmentation movement, which occur mainly in the small intestine. The peristalsis movement to avoid the movement through the intestinal tube, while the segmentation, this is allow to suffer large surface area to the food to be observed the nutrient that digested in the stomach as well as in the duodenum. And you see this segmentation mainly when we see the intestine of animal, if we cannot see it in human. And this is occur in the small intestine. And also we have what we call the mass movement or the hustler movement. This occur mainly in the large intestine to move the undigested food via the large intestine to the rectum. So we have three type of movement: peristalsis and segmentation, and finally the hustler movement. How the motility were regulated via hormone as well as nervous system. We have two-way via nervous system: the longer reflex, which is occurred by the vagus, which the we call it the pain nerve from the cranial nerve, and also we have enteric system inside the digestive system organs in the muscular layer, and we found this is in which the systems or nervous system which found it in the between the longitudinal circular layer and the muscularis layer. We call it Orbach, and Missner found it in the mucosa layer. And finally, as I say, it is associated between nervous and hormonal action, the hormone which serve in the motility of food in the digestive tract, the cholecystokinin and secretin, motilin, and we have glucagon-like protein. Thank you very much for listening.